Brock Rosencrans. I am what you could call the R3 coordinator out here at Sharing the Land. We had Dave Barron out here today. He is a fly fishing international casting instructor. Dave is endorsed by Orvis, and he has been for a number of years. He's one of the best fly fishing casting instructors in the world, and we were extremely lucky to have him here today, and it's even more lucky that we get to hang out with him during deer season. He comes out here and hunts as well. Oh, I said fly fish. Oh, Fly Fishers International. Yeah, so Dave is a certified Fly Fishers International fly casting instructor. Best one in the world.
My name's Dave Barron. I'm belong to an organization called Fly Fisher International. We're one of the largest fly fishing only organizations in the world. I'm a certified master casting instructor, and I'm one of 200 in the world. I got invited out here to Doug's place, which is a fabulous location. I've been out here deer hunting, and they run a lot of programs for people to learn to hunt, learn to turkey hunt, squirrel hunt, deer hunt. So it's a great opportunity to be able to come out here. And so when Brock and Doug asked me if I would be willing to come out and teach some fly casting lessons, I jumped at the chance. Today, I think we had 8 students. The majority of them have never touched a fly rod. They didn't know which end to hold, the cork or the whippy end.
Well, my name is Justin Snyder. I'm a local guy here. I've grown up in the woods, a little bit of small game hunting, a whole lot of fishing my whole life. I haven't had any experience with a fly rod.
Luckily, I had enough rods for everybody to use, so I knew they had good equipment in their hands. And we just went through the basics of learning to cast a fly rod.
So if this is a 4-weight line, it needs to be on a rod that's built for a 4-weight. Because fly fishing is different than spin fishing, okay? In spin fishing, it's the weight of the lure that pulls the line out. In fly fishing, it's the weight of the line, the first 30 feet of line. You could call that your lure. It's the line that adds weight to the fly rod. Okay? And they make fly rods from aught all the way up to 16 weights.
One of the things we found with everybody, I could tell the majority of them were all spin fishermen, because in fly fishing you need to keep your wrist fairly tight and straight, as opposed to when you bait cast or spin cast, you roll your wrist like this.
Starting off with Dave, he quickly showed me that I had to break some spinner bait habits with a limp flipping wrist, and we straightened that out right away, and I really gained confidence quickly with him guiding me. Literally hand in hand guided me through it.
So we started from the beginning, and by the end of 3 hours, due to having good students that listened and were raw canvases of paper, they had no preconceived idea on how to make it work. So they all listened very intently, and by the end, after about 3 hours, they all were casting fairly well. Enough to be able to go fishing. And I always say you can't catch a fish if you can't hit the water. So I'm sure they could all go out and hit the water. When I first saw you, I was terrified. But you all did extremely well. There's several of you who just really got it. Actually, the majority of you guys have really got it.
Part of the reason Sharing the Land evolved out of Leopold's Riley Game Cooperative is to get active and engaged landowners involved. People who are active and engaged landowners who are actively managing their property are really interested in interacting with their land. And when they find out how much work it is, they're really interested in having people on their property who would be willing to work with them to do the kind of work on the property that needs to be done. That relationship develops And I think anybody who spends time here realizes that the longer you are involved with our particular co-op, that there's an ease that comes with it. You become friends, that relationship develops. People understand what the property's about. They understand what's going on. They understand kind of what the plan is.
It's super nice to be able to just say, this is what we're holding this weekend, and we don't have to compete with anybody. And ends up just being a hangout where a half hour before and a half hour after every event at least is just us catching up and talking about how we've been, because we're all getting that relationship and that rapport together.
So we find that to be really helpful and very different than a lot of the access programs where it's simply walk-in access, where there's no interaction and understanding of the land. You're just reading it as a property to hunt, or you're leasing from somebody, be it with the short-term lease or the longer-term lease. Anytime there's money involved, that's a different relationship. It doesn't have to be. If you think of the three components of sharing the land, the landowner, the access seeker, and the land, where those three things come together is where sharing land really exists. There's the landowner who wants to have that relationship with the access seeker, that access seeker who's willing to put in the time and the energy and have that relationship with the landowner, and then the land and the inhabitants of it benefit from that. So that idea is a wider, more holistic approach, and everyone then has skin in the game. The landowner, the access seeker, and the land who's benefiting from it. If we're really trying to develop fishers and hunters and conservationists, days like we had today are really important. Here we had a nationally known fly fishing instructor come and go through the basics of fly fishing. Brought equipment, we went through all this. There wasn't a line hit the water today, yet everyone had the opportunity to learn how to cast. They got some personal attention from Dave. Just a really great day. And I think it's a more full experience for anyone who's interested in learning something like fly fishing. I can tell you this, fly fishing can be a very intimidating thing to get into. I don't think that today anyone was intimidated by the opportunity. You know, it's a small, supportive group of people. People have become friends through our program, and this whole background into it. We didn't even get into here's the kind of fish that we have or anything like this. This was about the background and the mechanics of fly fishing, and I'm still working on my casts. And for me as a landowner, it was really gratifying in that Brock set it up, Dave handled the instruction. I was just another one of the students. And that, I think, is even a higher level of sharing than simply hosting an event where people come out and go hunting and they're in a tent or a blind and, you know, off they go. We couldn't tell these stories without our sponsors. And I just have to say thank you to all of them. If this has piqued your interest and you're interested in becoming a cooperating landowner or an access seeker, you can go into sharingtheland.com, and there you'll find our conservation resume builder for access seekers and landowners, and then a cooperating land profile. There's also a contact spot on the website. You can contact us. You will most likely hear from me. If you go on to DougDuren.com, you'll find merchandise, It's Not Ours, Just Our Turn merchandise, our Sharing the Land merchandise, and all the proceeds from that go to support the programs that we're offering. You can follow us on social media, Doug Duren, Sharing the Land. You can also follow us on the YouTube channel and Sharing the Land channel. So please like and share that. And I hope you enjoy what you see. Thank you.